He appointed the moon for seasons.
Look at that. He appointed the moon for seasons.
The sun knoweth his going down.
Go ahead.
Thou makest darkness, and it is night. Wherein all the beasts of
Wait a minute. He made the sun to rise, and he said, thou makest darkness, and it, I'm sorry. First, he appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his what? Going down. So it's moving. It's rising and it's going down, ain't it? It's moving then, ain't it? Thou makest darkness, and it is night. He calling this. When all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. Now here come the creeping things and everything at night. And that's when they start creeping too, really, don't they? Go ahead and read.
Yes, sir. It's wearing on.
No. How did the psalmist know to write all of this except God gave it to him? How did he know to write all of this? Go ahead and read.
Wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. The young lions roar after their prey and seek their meat from God.
Seek their meat from who? From God.
Yes, sir.
That's who they seek their meat from. Go ahead and read.
The sun ariseth. They gather themselves together and lay them down in their den.
Go ahead.
Man goeth forth unto his work and to his labor until the evening.
Because man got to labor now, see. First he didn't have to labor. But the Lord said, you're going to till the ground now. But since you talked to the knowledge of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, now you're going to till the ground for the sweat of our brow. Go ahead and read though.
24. O Lord, how manifold are thy works.
Go ahead.
In wisdom hast thou made them all.
In wisdom hast thou made them all. Go ahead and read.
The earth is full of thy wisdom, thy riches.
The earth is full of what?
Thy riches.
Thy riches. But man can go and pull gold out the ground, can't they? Mine it out of silver, gold, diamonds. The earth is full of thy riches. Skip down to verse, read verse 25.
So is this great and wide sea.
You never see rivers, do you? So is this great and wide sea.
Wherein are things creeping. Innumerable.
Innumerable. So many things creeping. Sometimes I'll be watching those stories, those sea stories, and they out in the rivers and everything. And it looks like, man, I never said, what is that? Strange animals and stuff, strange creatures in the water. Then they said this fish was extinct. I forget the name of it. Turned around about 2 years ago, they found this fish in the water that they said was extinct. Innumerable things creeping, innumerable, both small and great beasts in the waters. Skip down to verse 29. Skip down to verse 29. These are things right here that man can't deal with. It can't comprehend right here. Because man goes so far into that deep, that's it. He can't go no further. That's why they had to put on those suits and everything so they can go down further. But then they can't go, they can only go so far with those suits on. Because it's too much pressure when they go down there. God knows what he's doing, don't he? He said he set the bounds that even the waters can't go past. But now you know he set the bounds even man can't go past. That's why they can only go so far when it comes to the sky and to the space. They can only go so far. Because there's water above that space, right? And then God is above that. Heaven is above that. But man ain't never told you about no body of water up there, have they? Because they can only go so far. Skip down to verse 29. Go ahead.
Thou hidest thy face. They are troubled.
Go ahead.
Thou takest away their breath. They die.
Isn't that evident?
And return to their dust.
Isn't that evident? God take away your breath because he gave it to you, didn't he? He take away that breath, you die. The animal, take away their breath, they die. The fish, take away their breath, what happened? They die. The creeping thing, take away their breath, what happened? They die. Go ahead and read.
30. Thou sendest forth thy spirit. They are created.
Thou sendest forth thy spirit. They are created. What is his spirit? His breath. Because he called them and then they are created. Go ahead and read.
Thou reneweth the face of the earth.
Thou renewest the face of the earth. Let's go to Leviticus 11 chapter. Leviticus 11. We ain't got but a few more. Leviticus 11. Because he gave food to the beast, to this man, to the fowls of the air, to the creepers. He told him to eat the herbs first, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Then he gave him meat. But then let's find out what he told him to eat. Because God is the one who tells you what you're supposed to eat and what you're not supposed to eat. I know man say pig is good, but God say don't eat it. I know catfish and all that stuff is good, but God say don't eat it. This is what he told you to eat and not to eat. Leviticus 11:1, go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, speaking to the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth.
Now he told you that, look, you had to eat the herbs and everything first, didn't he? Now he said these are the beasts that he wants you to eat. Go ahead and read.
Whatsoever part of the hoof, and is cloven footed, and cheweth the cud, among the beasts, that shall ye eat.
So now he said, whatsoever part of the hoof, and cheweth whatsoever part of the hoof, and is cloven footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall you eat, like a cow. It is cloven footed, right? It cheweth the cud. A deer, it is cloven footed, and it cheweth the cud. It has got a split hoof too, right? Go ahead and read.
4. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as the camel, because he cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. He is unclean unto you.
So you can't eat no camel because he is unclean unto you. He chew the cud, but he don't divide the hoof. It's got to divide the hoof and chew the cud, right? And be cloven footed. Skip down to verse 9. What does it say?
These shall you eat of all that are in the waters.
Now he's telling you what you can eat. these, because he tell the fish what to eat, don't he? The creatures in the water, he tell them what to eat. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Go ahead.
Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
You see ocean there? Why you don't see ocean there? Antarctic Ocean and all of this stuff. Pacific Ocean. He said the seas and in the rivers, didn't he? Go ahead and read.
And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
If it don't have fins and scales, he said it's an abomination unto you. Period.
Yes, sir.
Keep reading.
They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Whatsoever have not fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you.
Verse 13.
And these are they which ye shall have an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle and the ostrich and the osprey.
Now if you read through here and you see these fowls right here, you cannot eat them. But if you don't see the fowls in there, you can eat them. Everybody understand? Like the turkey, you can eat that turkey. Chicken, you can eat that chicken. Let's go now. Let's go to Hebrews, the 2nd chapter. Hebrews 2. So now we're going to bring the man back on the scene again. Hebrews 2. Hebrews 2, and we're going to pick up at verse 6. Hebrews 2 and 6. Hebrews 2 and 6. Let's bring the man back on the scene. Go ahead and read it.
But one in a certain place testified, saying, what is man, that thou art mindful of him? Or the Son of Man, that thou visitest him?
Go ahead.
Thou made of him a little lower than the angels. Thou crowned him with glory and honor, and didst set him over the works of thy hand.
Now we saw that earlier, right? He gave this man dominion over this earth, didn't he? Or the fowl of the air, and the creeping things, and the beasts of the field. Go ahead and read.
Thou hast put all things in subjection under his feet. For in that he put all in subjection under him, he left nothing that is not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him.
Go ahead.
But we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he by the grace of God should taste death for every man.
Oh, Jesus tasted death for every man?
It's written.
He didn't give man dominion over death, did he? He didn't give man dominion over death. But we see Jesus, who was made, who was crowned. Read that again.
Yes, sir.
What verse you at?
I'm at verse 10.
Go ahead.
9.
Yeah.
But we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he by the grace of God should taste death for every man.
He tasted death for every man. Go ahead and read.
For it became him, for whom are all things, by whom are all things.
Stop right there now, you're going too fast. Look at what he said there. Read that slow. What he say?
For it became him.
But for it became him. Who is him? Jesus, right? Go ahead and read.
For whom are all things.
For whom are all things,
and by whom are all things.
By whom are all things. Go ahead.
And bringing many sons into glory. To make the captain of their salvation perfect.
Now, so now, for it became him for whom are all things, and by whom are all things. Who is this him? We're looking at Jesus. But was he Jesus at that time? He was Jehovah, wasn't he?
That's right, brother. Yes, sir.
Jesus came around 1 AD, around that time. The world had already been here for like 3-4 years, 1,000 years already. Go ahead and read though.
11. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one. For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren.
Now he calling them brethren. Go ahead and read.
Saying.
He created all things, then he came down, and now he calling them brethren. Look at this. Go ahead and read.
12. Saying, I will declare thy name unto my brethren.
Well, wait a minute. I'm going to declare somebody else's name to the brethren? No. He said, saying, I will declare thy name unto my brethren. He declared somebody else's name to his brethren. Go ahead and read.
Saying, I will declare thy name unto my brethren. In the midst of the church will I sing praise unto thee. So
now he declares something. So it's another existing if he declared that name, isn't it? What name did he declare? Jesus. That's the name that he declared. So what is this name of this other then that he declared? Jesus. Go ahead and read.
Yes, sir. 13. And again, I will put my trust in him.
Who he putting his trust in? The Father.
Yes, sir.
Which name is what?
Jesus.
Jesus. Go ahead and read.
And again, I will put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children which God hath given me. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same.
Stop right there. Did it just say they took part of flesh and blood and he did likewise? Ain't that what we just read? We didn't read that he took part of flesh, blood, and spirit, did we?
Come on.
It said man took part of flesh and blood, and then Jesus took part likewise. So Jesus was not God and man at the same time. He was not spirit and man at the same time. Read that one more time, verse 14.
For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood.
See, the children are made partakers of flesh and blood. Go ahead.
He also himself likewise took part of the same.
He also himself took part of the same. So when he was here, he was what? Flesh and blood, not flesh and blood and spirit.
That's right.
He was a man just like we are. An extraordinary man,
Yes,
but he was a man though. A powerful man, but he was a man. So we stopped at verse 14. Let's go now. Let's go to no, keep reading.
Yes,
finish
sir.
that.
Yes, sir. That through death he might destroy him that had the power of death. That is the devil.
Let's go now. Let's go to Hebrews, the first chapter. Back up to Hebrews 1, and we're going to pick up at verse 1. Now he's going to make it clear who created this world. Go ahead and read Hebrews 1 and 1. Go ahead.
God, who at sundry times in divers manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, have in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things.
Whom he hath appointed heir of all things.
By whom also he made the worlds.
Oh, by whom also he made the worlds?
Yes, sir.
So Jesus made the world in conjunction with the Father, right? But when he made this world, though, he was not Jesus, he was Jehovah. Because Jehovah is the creator in conjunction with the Father, which is Jesus. Everybody understand?
Oh, yeah.
See, the creator, and that's why I named the lesson, the creator and their creation. And their creation. What verse you stopped? You finished that verse 2?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Colossians, the first chapter. Colossians 1, and we're going to pick up at verse 15. Colossians 1 and 15. Everybody understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got two more after this. Colossians 1 and 15. Colossians 1 and 15. When you get it, go ahead and read it.
Who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature.
See now, so it's two, ain't it? Because Jesus is the image of the invisible God. He ain't invisible where he a puff of smoke or something. No, he invisible because man has never seen him. You've neither heard his voice nor seen his shape. Go ahead and read.
For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth.
That are in heaven, that are in earth. He created all things. Who was one who created all things? Jesus is. Read that verse 15 again, because we missed something, not did we? Go ahead and read.
Who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature.
Go ahead.
For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth.
Go ahead.
Visible, invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions, or principalities or powers, all things created by him.
All things were created by him. Go ahead. And for him.
For him. And he is before all things.
What? How can Jesus be before all things? And he was a man.
Hallelujah.
Man died, don't they? So how can he be before all things? Unless he was a spirit being and came down as a fleshly being. That's the only way he could be before all things. We didn't say before all things. We're talking about before the earth, before angels, before water, before everything. How could he be before all things except he was a spirit being and God? Because we know angels are created beings. Because he just told you he created all things. And principalities, that's angels. All powers, all things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things. Go ahead.
And by him all things consist.
Go ahead. We're talking about Jesus now. Go ahead and read.
And he is the head of the body of the church.
Who the head of the church? Jesus is, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
So that's what we read about when it said, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. He is the head of the body, the church. Go ahead.
Who is the beginning? Firstborn from the dead. That in all things he might have the preeminence.
Go ahead.
Preeminence. For it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell.
See, this pleased the Father that Jehovah created all things, or that Jesus created all things. It pleased the Father. Wasn't that he went off and started doing things on his own. They took sweet counsel together, and that's what they came up with. We're going to create this world and this man and the beast and the fowls of the air. We're going to create all this stuff. Then once Adam turned around and messed up, he said, oh man, I got to go down here and save this man now. Well, you become the father and I'm going to become the son. I'm going to go down here and die for this man and be a sacrifice for him, so that he may get back that which I took not away. He took it away. Adam took it away. But Jesus gave life back to us. And Jehovah gave life back to us as Jesus. That's eternal life.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Ezekiel 1. We got one more after this. Ezekiel 1 and 26. Ezekiel 1 and 26. Ezekiel 1 and 26. We got one more. When you get it, go ahead and read it.
And above the firmament that was over their heads was a likeness of a throne.
Now this is Ezekiel. He saw these creatures and stuff, and they had wheels and all that. He saw this in heaven though. Go ahead and read it.
Back at the top, 26. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above it.
Now we can look at a throne with a man sitting there, right? A man sitting there. Go ahead and read.
27. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it. From the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. I saw as it were the appearance of fire.
Go ahead.
And it had brightness round about, as the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain.
Now you know the rainbow. So we saw this rainbow sitting around this throne, and a man sitting on this throne. Go ahead. He said his appearance was as a fire, and it had brightness round about, as the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain. Go ahead and read.
So was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord.
Of the glory of who?
The Lord.
The Lord.
And when I saw it, I fell upon my face. And I heard a voice of one that spake.
Now, so he saw up in heaven, he saw this throne with a rainbow around it, and a man sitting on this throne. Let's go to where it's going to be last. Revelations 4 and 2. Revelations 4 and 2. Revelations 4 and 2. When you get it, go ahead and read it.
And immediately I was in the spirit. And behold, a throne was set in heaven. And one sat on the throne.
Now look, John's seeing the same thing now. He said, and immediately I was in the spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. Go ahead and read.
And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne.
And there was a rainbow round about the throne, just like Ezekiel said, it was a bow around that throne, like after the rain, right? Go ahead and read.
In sight like unto an emerald. And round about the throne were 24 seats. And upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold.
Skip down to verse 10. Now Ezekiel didn't tell you that, did he? Skip down to verse 10. Go ahead and read.
The 24 elders fell down before him that sat on the throne, and worshiped him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power.
Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory, honor, and power. Why?
For thou hast created all things.
But thou hast created all things. Who created all things? Well, who's sitting on this throne then? Jesus. Finish that.
And for thy pleasure, they are and were created.
For thy pleasure, they are and were created. So there you have it. The Creator in their creation. I thank everybody for coming and listening. Thank you.